enjoy the rewards it brings to many. It is very fascinating to learn about the different learning styles of different students and to become knowledgeable about the techniques of teaching that can leave a lasting impression on the student and inspire them to continue with music. Instilling a love of music in a student is the most important part of teaching. I intend to inspire students to strive to become the best musicians they can be and to enjoy every step of the journey to this achievement. Therefore, I'd like to study piano pedagogy and teach in the future. I'm going to be attending Stetson University in the fall. After 5 music auditions, the choice was clear to me that Stetson was the perfect fit. I felt at home on the campus, and performing in the Lee Chapel was incredible as the sounds echoed throughout the rooms I played. I'm going to pursue a degree in music with piano as my primary instrument. I can't thank my teachers, family, and friends enough for supporting me throughout my musical journey, and I can't wait to see what lies ahead. I'll be performing pieces from different time periods, beginning with the Baroque period. The term Baroque means oddly shaped pearl. This was a characteristic of the music which is overly ornamented and exaggerated. During this period, music was written with tonality, each in a particular key. The clavichord and harpsichord were the early versions of the piano used during this time. Bach originally wrote his 2-part inventions as musical exercises for his students. He listed these as benefits of the exercises: learn to play cleanly in 2 parts, handle 3 voices correctly, obtain and develop good ideas, and achieve a cantable, song-like style in playing. In order of ascending keys, starting with the key of C, the invention of F major is number 8. Bach gave the title Das Wohltemperierte Klavier to a book of preludes and fugues in 24 major and minor keys, composed for the profit and use of musical youth desirous of learning, and especially for the pastime of those already skilled in the study. With the maturing of the classical style in the 1770s, the well-tempered clavier began to influence the course of musical history, with Haydn and Mozart studying the work closely. Mozart transcribed some of the fugues of the well-tempered clavier for string ensemble. influence from the classical period. Classical music included both religious and secular music. The compositions created during this time were sophisticated, including concertos, symphonies, sonatas, and operas. The forte piano, a piano-like instrument, was used during this time. Sonata number 13 was written in 1783 in Linz and Vienna. It is a gallant piece and feminine throughout. It reflects Mozart's admiration of Bach, as the beginning of Sonata number 13 is very similar to Bach's Opus 5, number 3, and Opus 17, number 4 piano sonatas. Another influence to the piece was the style of concertos at the time, which was grandiose in style. Sonata Opus 28, number 15, was given the name pastoral, reflecting the sense of countryside nature, simplicity, and lightness. Pastoral could also refer to the piece being a slow instrumental composition with drone notes in the bass. Although the first and last movements are characteristic of the style, the middle two, Andante and Scherzo, do not have these qualities at all. This could be due to Beethoven's publisher's tendency to name his sonatas without consulting him first. The Andante, which means walking movement, in D minor, features a staccato semiquaver bass, which means there are short 16th notes in the bass. The Scherzo, meaning musical joke or playful movement in D minor, has a contrast between 4 long notes, octaves apart, and a fast quaver melody. The trio differs from the beginning in that it has a sharply contrasting tone. Beethoven composed many of his pieces in the classical genre, but later crossed over to compose in the Romantic style. Beethoven was a crossover composer, writing in both the classical and Romantic styles. Thank you. Now we will take a 10-minute intermission. Next, I'm going to perform from the Romantic period. This period was an artistic, literary, and intellectual movement originating in Europe. Romanticism was a time of emphasizing emotion and individualism. The artist was celebrated as exhibiting free expression and feeling through music. The Nocturne in E-flat major is written by Frédéric Chopin in 1830 when he was about 20 years old and dedicated to Madame Camille Pleyel. The Nocturne has a reflective mood until it suddenly becomes passionate near the end. The new concluding melody begins softly, but then ascends to a higher register as it is played forcefully in octaves, eventually reaching the loudest part of the piece, marked fortissimo. After a trill-like passage, the Nocturne ends calmly. Valse des Petits Chiens, French for Waltz of the Little Dog, popularly known as the Minute Waltz, is a waltz composed by Frédéric Chopin. Chopin got the inspiration for this waltz as he watched a small dog chase its tail. Although it has long been known as the Minute Waltz, its nickname was intended to mean small in the sense of a miniature waltz by its publisher. Chopin did not intend for this waltz to be played in 1 minute. The average performance of this piece will last between 1.5 to 2.5 minutes. For the last genre, I am going to perform several pieces from the 20th century. The 20th century introduced a variety of music, including folk music, electronic music, rock, popular music, jazz, and spiritual music. French Impressionist painting was also popular during this time. Rachmaninoff wrote in both the late Romantic style as well as the early 20th century. Etude Tableau in G minor by Sergei Rachmaninoff is an interesting piece. Rachmaninoff was fascinated with bells, which is evident by the emphasis placed on specific, often elongated notes. The song also has a mysterious tone that allows for listeners to create their own pictures in their minds. In addition, the drama of the composition is evident in a vivid chromatic descent in the middle of the piece. Regarding Rachmaninoff, Arthur Rubinstein stated, "He had a secret of the golden living tone which comes from the heart. I was always under the spell of his glorious and inimitable tone, which could not make me forget my uneasiness about his too rapidly fleeting fingers and his exaggerated rubatos. There is always the irresistible sensuous charm."
French Impressionism was one of the many styles in the 20th century. The name clair de lune means moonlight in French. It was written in the Impressionist style of music, initiated by Debussy himself, focusing on the atmosphere and mood it conveys rather than the specific image. The image of moonlight is portrayed by the elegant sound as well as the misty atmosphere of the piece. The drama in this piece adds to its unique style with an immense crescendo building up to dainty arpeggiated chords. Similar to Impressionism in art, such as in Monet's painting, The Water Lily Pond, the song Clair de Lune fills the listener's mind with a beautiful, mysterious scene that words alone cannot describe.
Before I play my last song, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge Lisa Schonar for being a wonderful teacher and helping me prepare for this recital, Thomas Peasy for helping me for teaching me so much about technique that I'll use throughout my musical career, Robert Cohen for teaching me the fundamentals and helping me develop my love for piano, Ken Taylor for being a great teacher in such a short period of time, my family for motivating me to practice and for paying for my music lessons for 8 years, Mr. Duber and Miss Warnett for being amazing band directors and inspiring me to pursue a music career in college, my friends Daniel Cortez and Lillian Garback for always supporting me, my band and chorus families for always listening to me practice and for encouraging me. Thank you all so much. For my last piece, I'm going to play Troubled Water by Margaret Bonds. A spiritual is also one of the many styles of the 20th century. Margaret Bonds began her career during a time when few African-American women could aspire to become musicians, and she became famous for her spiritual arrangements. She also opened up a music and dance school called the Allied Arts Academy after earning her master's degree at Northwestern University. Later on, she studied at the Juilliard School of Music, New York. Troubled Water was a piece she wrote in 1967 based on the spiritual Wade in the Water. The song relates to the Old and New Testaments, reflecting the Israelites' escape out of Egypt. The chorus refers to healing. John 5:4, "For an angel went down at a certain season into the pool and troubled the water. Whosoever then first, after the troubling of the water, stepped in, was made whole of whatsoever disease he had." Some books claim that songs such as Wade in the Water contains explicit instructions to fugitive slaves on how to avoid capture and the route to take to reach freedom. The book Pathways to Freedom claims that Harriet Tubman used the song to tell escaping slaves to get off the rail and into the water, to make the dogs employed by the slavers lose their trail. The lyrics are, "Wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Who's that yonder dressed in red? Wade in the water. Must be the children that Moses led, and God's gonna trouble the water." Thank you. I do have one more song, but I need someone's help. Lillian Garback, could you join me on the stage? Thank you. Please join us for some refreshments in the lobby, and please remember to sign my scrapbook. Thank you. I think so. Thank you.